And that's why I'm running for president.
Oh, boy, I'd vote for you. Oh, do you want to
Shouldn't
know
have
my
opened with
answers for that bet?
Yeah.
Elizabeth Warren. Elizabeth Warren. There you go.
Hopeful.
That's my bet. Where are you going?
Trump, baby.
You're going Trump.
Yeah. Do you want? So we're putting money on this. Let's put $50 on it.
$50? Who do you fucking think you are?
Right.
Steve Coogan over
Mr.
here.
Right. I don't get that reference.
Greed. See a movie sometime.
Okay.
Gosh, keep up with the culture.
I watched a
Also,
documentary.
Steve Coogan just well off by himself. Just
True.
independently wealthy.
Would bet $50.
He'd bet
if he was
$50.
betting. Yeah.
Easy.
100%. I watched a documentary of his Australia stand-up tour
Okay.
the other day, which was
A
pretty
documentary
interesting.
of it, not the actual
Yeah.
show.
No.
Huh.
It was on ABC iView. It was like Steve Coogan. It was just like behind the scenes of his comedy tour.
Wow.
He comes off as kind of a prick.
I can believe that.
Like pretty
Up himself.
pretty nasty. Yeah, a little bit.
Nasty.
To his, well, maybe not nasty, but kind of like a bit rude to the people who are working for him.
Yeah, I
For
can
sure.
totally see it.
Yeah, but he's a funny fucking dude.
He's good. You think Trump?
Yeah, I would bet Trump. I am betting Trump.
Okay.
I'm betting on Trump.
How about $28?
$28.
I don't want to drop $50. I don't have $50 lying around.
But that makes it interesting. Fine, $28. Okay, $28. Sure.
I like that you started to protest and then immediately were like, I'm still getting the thing that I wanted, which is a financial investment.
And also, I was the one who said $50, so I don't look cheap,
Yeah.
which is fine.
Yeah, it's
But-
fine. I mean,
You know what? Another
I don't
4
think I
years
look
of
cheap
Trump
either.
is going to be so exhausting, though.
I agree. I don't
Like, it was fun. Don't get me wrong. It was fun. It's been really fun.
I don't think
And
that's true.
I was glad. So there's some part of me that was kind of, it's glad it happened. Glad I could just watch it. Glad I could. It was fun to watch. But like another 4 years, it's going to be like, this is boring now.
Yeah. It's like, do I have to watch the entire season, or can I just like watch the premiere and the finale and get the gist?
Yeah.
Do I have to stick through all 8?
Yeah. Now, like, some stability will be fun.
Yeah. Now that we've all had a wild ride, just time for relaxation time.
But I would like to see the stats on how often the sitting president is re-elected, because I think it's quite high from just as a guess.
I think mental picture is probably most presidents that run for a second term get it. I think. At least in recent history, you had 2 Obamas, you had 2 George W. Bush, you had 2 Clinton, you had 2 Bush Senior.
I think so.
I don't know. I can't think how far back it goes. Yeah. So I think that at least recent history would suggest it. But the crazy thing is, since like 1992, Republicans have been losing, popular votes. That basically at that turning point, when Clinton got into office, they've been a minority party, and the way that they've held on to power in that time has been through, gerrymandering and manipulating the system rather than just winning the free fight of ideas, really.
Yeah. And yeah, I guess the other thing is, working in your favor, I guess, if we're just going to focus on the bet and not the fate of millions of Americans, is that Trump is way different than any other president that we've ever had.
Just to wrap up this political thing, when are we... So this is about the 2020 election, yes? And there were two bets. The first one was Democratic nominee, and the second one was win the election. Is that correct?
Yeah, true. Okay.
So are we doing? Is it going to be half paid out halfway through, or are we waiting for the election to pay out both of them?
Well, I haven't given my Democratic nominee. So maybe that's a side pot.
You've phrased it like that originally. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I just forget what I say. I would it's not you're not going to like it, but
You're going Biden.
Yeah. The Maverick.
I think his name, I don't know how you can watch the past 2 weeks of American politics and think A, Trump's literally being impeached, and B, Biden's name has been dragged through the muck for 2 weeks, and all of his polls are dropping, and he's like getting less donations from than other Democratic candidates. I don't know how you can look at both of those things and say, yeah, both of those people are going to win.
Yeah, only because he just seems like a president to me. He seems like the president. Do you know what I mean, though?
Unlike, a black woman or a white woman or a gay man, there's just something about the straight old white man which just feels presidential,
I didn't know he was straight. You put words in my mouth there.
Don't you find him creepy, though? I find him a bit creepy.
I find him the best, dude. I love him.
Okay. Of your weird
so cool
political crushes, who do you admire more, Trump or Biden?
Oh, don't say admire.
I'm just putting the words into the sphere that you've already verbalized.
No, I said Trump was fun.
Exactly. You look up to him. You think of him as a father figure.
He's somewhat of a father figure. Fine.
He has the closeness and warmth that I just am needing.
Yeah. Look, there might be some similarities.
That is very unkind to Peter.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. You think they're long shots, both of those, do you?
I think Biden's absolutely empirically been trending down. I just think because Trump sees him as the rival and is going to expend all the energy shitting on him, I also think he's not one to enthuse a Democratic base which is looking for revolution. And so I think he just won't attract the kind of fundraising or grassroots momentum that some of the others like a Sanders or a Harris would get.
I wonder what Bernie Sanders' heart attack will do for his camp. It can't help it, can it?
Yeah, I mean, that's the awkward thing is that, I mean, it's kind of the sexism comes into it again because Clinton had that health scare where she had like a cold or something, right? And she needed to chill in her campaign. And there was all these like whispers and rumors and like, oh, she's not fit for the presidency. She doesn't have what it takes, blah, blah, blah. And then Sanders goes off and has a triple stent heart attack. And everyone's like, oh, he's just pushing through, good old Sanders, he works so hard out there.
He's tougher than we thought.
He's tough. He made it. This is exactly what I look for.
Yeah. What a fighter.
What a fighter. So yeah, it's I think that he will probably, because he's got a spike of attention on him, I think he probably will benefit from the heart attack, but I don't know.
I was saying that he wasn't going to benefit from it.
Oh, you weren't?
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Well, yeah, I mean, I could see sympathy levels for him rising, but political effectiveness probably dropping because you were off the map for a while, not able to be out there meeting people or not able to contribute in the national conversation. So it probably will hurt his reach.
Yeah, I mean, I do think it hurts his campaign to have the heart attack because he already kind of looks like an old guy. And I really don't think, like you said before, the Democratic base are looking for a progressive. And someone with the vitality to go up against Trump.
Yeah.
Who's got a lot of energy, by the way. Trump has
Depends on
loads
the
of energy.
situation. To be fair to Sanders, he's actually quite exuberant, really, as well. It belies his age. But yeah, I think that you're right that the popular energy of the Democratic base is looking for something different.
And people think that either Sanders or Warren's supporters would switch to either side, wouldn't they?
Yeah, I
So
think
if Warren doesn't get the nomination, Sanders would clean up all of her votes.
Yeah, and I think the other way that the tactics of that might work, if they're wary of the of what happened with Clinton, and who she picked as her running mate, I wonder if, rather than avoid the sort of, well, it was Sanders or it was nothing, so fuck you, Clinton kind of thing that happened in 2016, I wonder if the Democratic Party will be a lot more switched on to it this time. And if Warren gets it, she'll have Sanders as the Veep. And if Sanders gets it, he'll have Warren as the Veep. And then you really do unify both bases and energize both bases.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Welcome to Deep Thought, everybody. That was Smooth as Silk. This is a podcast that we do on the regular in order to inform you, the devoted listener, about the state of the world and what you should be doing and thinking and eating. Cheezels. Sitting with me through the internet today, Michael. Say hi, Michael.
G'day.
And I'm Nick. Still liking these grooves. Still liking how these new theme song vibes are feeling. I hope everyone's getting in a bossa flavor at the moment. It's all going great.
Have you had any feedback?
Had no feedback. No feedback. But no news is good news, is what they say in the newspaper business. Saves paper costs. So in that same spirit, I'm going to.
I heard one person that was. I just don't think they like change. You know, when I feel it too. When I listen to a podcast and they change the jingle, I've been like, no, I missed the old one. But then you eventually, it's like when Facebook changes the layout, you get used to it.
Yeah. Well, I believe that much like Facebook, the new theme song will be internationally beloved and respected among both the public and the critical community. But what are we talking about this week? Listener, that was a question for you. Because, do you remember? We set it up at the cliffhanger last time. We're Dragon's Den.
They don't remember.
It's Dragon's Den. It's 2 weeks. We're on a 2-week schedule, guys. You can remember things for 2 weeks.
Do you know bi-weekly means both every 2 weeks and twice a week?
I know, it's really annoying. Like biannual.
So stupid.
Biannual. Every 2 years or twice a year?
Biannual?
Biannual. Are there two anuses?
2 butts? Two. That just means 2 anuses.
Biannual. Could be every second anus, though. Like you go in one, but you don't go in the other.
How often do you record your podcast? Biannually. What?
Dragon's Den. We're Dragon's Denning. We're going to pitch some great ideas, and if you want to buy, let's just we'll set up a PayPal. You know that we get emails.
Can we get people to vote? Oh, we should set up a vote.
Okay. Yeah.
On maybe Facebook.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
But then people who haven't listened to the episode are just going to vote.
That's.
Oh, maybe wait. No, I know a foolproof way around that. You just say in there, if you haven't listened to the episode, you can't vote.
I think that'll solve the problem.
No one's going to touch that.
Yeah.
Done.
Some would argue that being able to sell it in a Facebook poll is probably a good testament to the strength of the ideas. So I don't know. I think it's fair game.
All right, that's fair. I just come around so easily to whatever you say.
No, you don't.
I do.
Okay, you missed my
no, seriously,
you missed my setup.
It fucking annoys me. I want to agree with you less, usually.
I don't want you to agree with me less.
I like it when we disagree.
Yeah, but you just want it to be disagreeing like arbitrarily.
I don't know what that means. I like disagreeing. Do you not like disagreeing with me? I like agreeing with you as well.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Sometimes.
Okay, don't walk it back.
But I don't like it when you talk me around from my point of view.
I like fighting, and I don't like agreeing.
I don't. I really hate it when I have a shitty opinion of you on something, and then you bring me around to like a rational view. Like with that link that I sent you today. I was like, fuck.
Yeah, okay,
Man.
recap it. You can't mention it and now just leave it ambiguous.
I should have known because it was fucking Joe Rogan's Instagram.
Michael G.
I ate into it so much. So I sent Nick this post today, and it's a clip. It's like an article, a screenshot of an article, and it says Portland bans urinals in $200 million gender-neutral remodel of government building. And then the article, well, the screenshot goes on to say that the city of Portland has banned urinals and is basically getting rid of all urinals. And this is a quote. While urinals use less water than toilets, they are a relic of a bygone era when men and women were recognized as biologically different. And
Michael thought,
I ate that shit up.
perfect. That's sold. I mean, you can't argue with this. A screenshot off an Instagram. I'm going to send this to Nick right now.
I'm like, look at this, Nick. Look at where your political correctness has gone. And then Nick sent me back straight away. I don't know how you fact checked that spot.
I literally just typed the headline into my search engine. The first thing that came back was the Snopes article, which said mostly false. It was the first hit for anyone who put in like 10 seconds worth of like journalistic effort. It says, and this is from you who did a journalism degree.
I know.
And I just pasted the Snopes back in and said, can you please put in like 6% more effort and stop being so fucking credulous? And I didn't know, but of course it makes sense. You fucking got it off Joe Rogan's fucking Instagram, you moron. I can't believe it. I can believe it.
That made me laugh, by the way, when you sent me that. I was just like, I've got nothing to stand on here. I can't argue this. I just massively just ate shit just then. And then I went to check on the comments, and no one was saying that it was fake. And I was tempted to comment on there. You know this is fake, right, you guys?
You should have.
Yeah, but that would have been disingenuous because then I would have been wanting to get points for being the guy that pointed it out, which I didn't.
There's no points on Instagram anymore. They've got rid of numbers.
Facebook have done that as well.
Really?
Yeah, I was thinking Facebook have just done that, which is great for us
for
because we don't necessarily get that many likes, and now it just looks like we get as many likes as everyone else.
As
long as we get 2 likes.
It's just I see numbers. They must be just doing it in Australia.
It might be a trial run in Australia.
Yeah, maybe. Alrighty. Shall we enter the dragon?
Who wants to go first?
You go first. I can go first. Well, whatever.
You go first.
Okay. So
best till last.
Dragon's Den. Never watched Dragon's Den, by the way. I just know it conceptually. My understanding is someone just comes in with a great idea, and like there are rich judges, is that right? And they just say, "I'll invest. I won't invest. What's your business model?" That sort of thing. Is that right?
That's my understanding of it too.
Cool. So, are you going to be the judge? Are you going to?
Yes.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, I'll act as the judge.
Okay. Great. Well, let me put on my suit and tie, and bring up my notes.
To be honest, just right off the bat, should have done that before you walked in the boardroom, mate.
I thought what I might actually do is start with a little bit of sex sells. So I strip off completely in front of them, just flash a little bit of the old booty, pull on the suit and tie again.
So you come in with a suit and tie. You
No,
take
I'm
off the
holding a suit
and then
and
put it back
tie.
on.
I come in
So
in
you're just wearing
sweatpants.
regular clothes.
I'm wearing sweatpants, like Ugg
Okay.
boots, basically my normal outfit, and then come in holding suit and tie, strip it all off, a little bit like I don't have music, but I sort of hum a little bit of "You Can Keep Your Hat On," just like to sort of get people in the mood, and then suit and tie back on, ready to
Very
pitch.
nice. Classy. Classy as well. I like it.
How many times have you asked yourself this, Michael? What's it going to cost to visit Sweden?
So many times, dude.
Thank you. How much is a cheese and gherkin sandwich and a tomato juice?
A lovely flower, dude.
Exactly. Well, let me introduce you to this product of your dreams to answer this and more questions. It's called Priceberg.com. It's a website. Priceberg. Priceberg has a vast database of common items, and users in every country around the world submit the average price of what that item costs in their country. Then Priceberg indexes that against current market rates and shows you in relative terms what the cost of things are in that country relative to where you come from. So, let me give you an example. You have Australian dollars. Well, if you go to America, the food and alcohol is going to be cheaper. Technology, transport costs more. Sandwich, cheaper in America. It's only $4 Australian. Sandwich in Australia, $7 Australian. Now I know going to America going to be cheaper. But you go to Switzerland, well, you can pay way more for a steak. It's going to be fucking outrageous. A steak and a pint, $50. Obnoxious. Maybe I won't go to Switzerland. Now I know. Thanks, Priceberg. Because like we say at Priceberg, money floats.
It does?
It's like it's an economics term.
Is it like a because is it burg as in burger?
Is it
Or is
what?
it burg as in like a Jewish person?
What? It's burgers in iceberg. It's
iceberg.
Iceberg.
Oh,
Like an iceberg that floats, but Priceberg. Because
I wasn't
money
getting the iceberg.
floats. Yeah. And just picture a
Mine's
logo
got
which is like an
Priceberg.
iceberg, but it's got a dollar sign on it.
Okay. My brain was so far off where that was. I was thinking like price and burger as in like a burger
Like
because
a
you're matching
yeah,
burger.
medium.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Well thought out.
Yeah.
I wish first thing I should say is that I wish you didn't go first. And so is this an app?
It's a website, it's an app, it's a online user experience, virtual reality.
Virtual reality. Wow. Google Glass.
Yeah, it's a Google Glass exclusive.
And do you have first of all, do you have the domain?
No, I don't have the domain.
Okay.
Maybe I should buy the domain.
Can you get the domain?
I think I can get the domain.
Pretty recently.
Yeah.
Okay.
If not, I'll
just
just
gonna-
like offer them, I don't know, something that I have in exchange. You know, have
I'm
have
just
some of
going
my
to go
shoes.
along to priceberg.com. Well, priceberg.com right now.
Priceberg.com. Let's have a
See
look.
what comes up.
Not loading for me.
Ooh, yeah,
Ooh.
me neither.
Oh, we might have an open domain on our hands.
Really? Okay. Well, it didn't even load for me either. So
That's good.
that's looking good.
That's good. That's first tick.
Do you have a what are you going to need? What are you going to need for money? For investment on this?
I think I probably need a cool meal.
$1 million.
Yeah, just like it's only $1 million when you think about it.
How much do apps cost? I mean, I know the answer. I'm just testing you.
Apps cost
Usually.
it depends on whether you go to like a single person to make one for you or like a proper like app development studio that does things for corporate level. Seriously, like a corporate level app company will charge you like $400,000 plus to make an app. Like it's really, really, really expensive if you go through a proper thing. But that's not the way I want to do it. I want to spend my money on hiring people, so we have an engineering team in our staff, that work for us. So we're going to need someone to build and maintain the website.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the focus is going to be the website.
Well, it's all going to be the same back end, and that'll feed into the app, into the virtual reality, into the website. It's all the same database, but that database is user submitted as well. So most of it is going to be getting the technology up and running, and then you just need to advertise and tell people, hey, if you're in Switzerland, please enter what a panini costs, so that we've got a universal panini index, and you can see, Namibian panini, that's going to be cheaper than, Lithuanian panini. Maybe I'll spend my money going to Lithuania.
For me, I was thinking that this would work better with, just items rather than actual things that you'd buy at a restaurant. Just because there's so much disparate, so there's such a broad spectrum of like quality products versus cheap products.
Yeah, I'm thinking like universal stuff. So maybe panini and sandwich is not the best idea. Like 2 liters of milk and a thing of bread and a thing of eggs or whatever. Talking about sort of essentials. Plus, also, you have a 20-minute cab ride or something as a comparison, or a bus ticket, or just the sort of the day-to-day essentials of what you might need or encounter when you're out traveling. Let me ask you a question.
Well, look,
how expensive, when you went to Sri Lanka, did you have a sense of what things cost relative to where they cost from home?
No, I mean, to be honest, that is why I'm really quite into this idea, because it was fresh off a new country, and I thought that. I had this thought. I didn't have the thought to, bring it to the Dragon's Den.
Yeah.
But I had the need. The need was there.
Need for speed.
The need for feed, baby. The need to know what the price of the feed. Yeah. No.
We'll workshop it. It's okay. I've got $1 million.
So, yeah. I mean, if I can think of... what I was doing when I was overseas is I'm putting it into a currency converter.
Yeah.
Putting in the price, but you're basically cutting out the middleman there.
Well, I think it's it's like a pre-trip kind of ritual as much as it is a tool for when you're over there,
Okay.
So I think it's an information database that'll help you sort of plan and think ahead and be like, okay, so if I'm going to eat 1 sandwich and 1 liter of milk a day when I'm traveling, I'm going to need 12 Australian dollars. Times by a week, I'm going to need $84 worth of food expenses when I'm on this leg of my trip, So a little bit of like forward planning. And then while you're over there, you could use it as a currency converter if you wanted to, I guess.
Okay. Look, Nick, I'm a very successful businessman.
Yeah,
I don't like to mess around. I like to mess around. I like a straight talker.
Mm-hmm.
I like a straight shooter. Mm-hmm. And you seem to me to be like a straight shooter.
I'm very
To be honest, that's... Sorry. I have the flu. To be honest, that suit business at the start...
Uh-huh. Bit sexy. Too sexy.
Too sexy. Thought it was a bit weird. And then I thought you might have come off a little bit too sexy.
I knew it.
But I admired it because you're thinking outside the box.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I'm willing to offer you. I want to give you 800,000, and I want 40% stake in the company.
900,000, 20%.
I feel like you just lowballed me.
Well, hey, I mean, it's a big world out there. Lots of potential investors.
20%. All right. Just so I don't look like a chump, 850,000 and 20%.
875, 17% upfront, 3% on return of interest.
Deal. Deal. Sold. Congratulations.
Yes, we're shaking hands, and the deal is now done.
Wow.
I can't believe I just made
Did you just see that,
875.
Wow.
I would have settled for 8. Alrighty, Michael. Item number 1.
Oh, okay. Nick, do you ever
Don't address me
flick
by
through
name.
Nicholas?
It's Mr. Shadle to you, sir.
Mr. Nick, Mr. Shades. Do you ever do you constantly find yourself buying into bullshit that Joe Rogan posts on Instagram?
Sold.
That's not okay.
I could use this a lot.
Introducing bullshit, the Rogan bullshit detector. That's
It's just a filter that blacks out every one of his posts.
yeah. We can hire a team and we just go through your Facebook feed and unsubscribe to people who are slightly right wing / alt right. Okay, so the actual one, which is that was not a bad one, was it? Okay, so mine was kind of along the same lines as yours, vaguely. So this is a cooking app.
Ooh.
A cooking app.
Okay, go on.
Now, how often, Nick, are you at home? You don't know what to cook. You don't want to order out. You don't want to order Uber Eats again for the third night in a row. And you've got things in your pantry that are just going to waste. They've been in there for a while. You've got some stuff in the fridge, but you don't know what to cook.
You don't know whether they're still safe to eat.
No,
This is an app that tells you whether or not it's healthy to eat a potato, which is kind of green on the outside.
It's not that.
Okay, well, that's $1 million idea. So
This app, I've got 2 names. I haven't actually decided on the name.
okay, we'll pitch.
I'll tell you what the app does first,
Okay.
and then I'll tell you my 2 names.
You type in the products, and then it tells you what to make.
You type in what you've got. You type in what you've got in the pantry.
Mm-hmm.
You type in what ingredients you've got in the fridge, and the app sorts through thousands, if not millions, of recipes that you can make with the ingredients that you've got in your fridge or pantry.
I love it. What's it called?
It's called Pocket Chef
Pocket Chef.
Dinner Doc.
Dinner Doc as in doctor?
Yeah.
The Dinner Doctor. I'm pretty
Dinner
sure Pocket
Doctor.
Chef exists.
It sounds like it exists. That's why.
Here's my first
That's
question.
why it's so good. Yeah.
Have you looked to see whether this exists?
Because
Because here's the answer: it does.
Exists.
It absolutely does.
It doesn't.
It absolutely
How do you
does
know that?
exist because I
It
used
doesn't
it in
exist.
the past.
No, you haven't.
I have.
No.
Why don't we do
You're
it?
mistaken. Don't,
Michael,
just
have you investigated?
take my word for it, dude.
Okay. Well, as it happens, it is a great idea. I do have that situation where I go to the pantry and I look in the cupboards and I say, what am I going to make with this? Half a bag of couscous, some old tomatoes, a coconut cream, some fettuccine noodles, some vermicelli noodles, some brown rice.
We get it.
I have a lot of brown staples. But what do I do with it?
I feel like you're doing my heavy lifting right now.
My answer is to turn to one of the numerous existing websites which do this for you and puts in the recipe that...
So, what are you going to Google, though? What are you going to Google? Like,
I'm sure that it is like food.com.
Recipes. What can I make with my ingredients? Can I make with the ingredients I have? Oh, fuck. It came up as a suggested. Supercook. Fuck, that's a good name. My fridge food. That's even better than the other one. Damn it. Okay.
Okay. Supercook.com says dinners met its match. Just add your ingredients and Supercook instantly finds matching recipes from the most popular cooking websites. So let's put this in here. Couscous. Oh, yes. Drop down menu. That's great. Let's add another key ingredient.
Okay. Well...
Going to put in some...
As featured in Time magazine.
Oh. What else are we going to put? We're going to put some tomatoes in. That's good.
This is a slick website.
It's got a drop down. You can tick the onion and garlics.
But is it an app? This is humiliating right now, by the way, that you're actually going through this process.
Rice, salmon. Okay, so I've typed in garlic, onion, rice, and salmon. It's given me 184,243 matches. So I've got some options when it comes to cooking dinner here at supercook.com. And here's the bad news. They've got a worse name than what Dr. Pantry.
You say worse name?
A worse name. Dr. Pantry. Pantry Doc. What did you call yours?
Dinner Doc.
Dinner
or Pocket
Doc.
Chef.
Pocket Chef definitely exists. Have you looked up Pocket Chef? I'm sure that's a thing.
Pocket Chefs?
PocketChefs.com. And
No, that's Pocket Chefs.
PocketChef.com also exists.
Yeah, but what do? They...
You should go to PocketChefs.com because this
I
website
am.
was made in 1999 and it is truly wonderful. Everyone playing at home, please jump into PocketChef.com and just luxuriate in the animated GIFs.
Wait, are you on PocketChef.com or PocketChefs.com?
PocketChefsingular.com.
I'm on
PocketChef.com.
PocketChefs.com.
It has an animated basset hound GIF and some guy in a chef hat.
Google won't even let me go onto it.
It's because I'm on the website and it can only have one person on at a time.
No, it says attackers might be trying to steal your information from PocketChef.com.
Yeah, if you click the like alternative options or whatever, you can actually proceed into that website.
Can you?
Yeah.
Oh.
You see that? Yeah, you shouldn't do it very often unless
I've
you
missed
trust
out
it.
on so much porn
Oh, I'm so sorry.
from not knowing that. Okay. Oh, this is gross. This is like 1999 gross.
What I'm saying
is
is you
this?
might be able to buy this website off them, zhuzh it up a little bit.
This is a dormant website for sure. Anyway, look,
so
is it an app? Is it an app? That's the thing.
Shall we
Well,
look?
now it's the thing. No. Just give me your money. Look, this is kind of a moot point as far as I'm concerned, because look, why do we have we can have two kinds of the same thing. It's about
Very good
marketing.
point.
It's about
We
marketing.
can have two kinds of the same thing.
Imagine if the person who invented the burger was like, oh, you can't make. Maybe imagine if they patented a burger and it said you can only have one type. You can only have burgers are ours, and then there would be no McDonald's. There'd be no Burger King. What am I doing here? This is such a shit point.
My only counter argument to the idea of Pocket Chef having more than one of them is trademark law. You haven't invented a product which is universally known. We're not arguing about whether hamburgers can exist. You're trying to launch a brand. You can't launch the same brand. You can't come out and say, "Hey, I'm McDonald's and I make hamburgers. Come along to my McDonald's." So look, I think.
Hold on. I think that I can market this as an app, streamline it. Fuck Supercook. Fuck the other Pocket Chef. This is an app called Pocket Chef, not made in 1994, and it's a slick app. I want $2 million. I want $2 million. Nicholas,
I'm
Mr.
letting you
Shadow?
finish your pitch.
I want $2 million. I want more. I want double what you had. Because I heard that conversation, by the way.
Yeah,
You
you're
should have
waiting
got way more, by
outside.
the way. You should have got way more. I want $2 million. I'm going to get the best app designers or developers, whatever they're called, nerds, to work on this app. And it's going to be the slickest. And most of our budget, Mr. Shades, is going to be on marketing. And we're going to get Taylor Swift. I've already thought about emailing Taylor Swift's people.
You're getting
get
Taylor
a
Swift
song?
for $2 million.
Thinking about... No, less than that. I was thinking about giving her asking her if she'd be willing to do it for like a K,
Oh,
100K,
100K.
but like a new song. So when you open the app, you get a new Taylor Swift song.
Yeah. Can you give me a
And
sample?
it's
Like, I assume it's
yeah,
food related.
yeah. It's like Bucket Chef, Bucket Chef, Bucket Chef. It's like something like that.
It sounds like she's
And
singing Bucket Chef, which is
Bucket
just a
Chef.
chef that
She is singing
carries
Bucket
a bucket.
Chef. She's singing Bucket Chef, but that's because
Bucket
it was
Chef.
it was cheaper to get her to say Bucket Chef.
Yeah, there were trademark issues with Pocket Chef, so we
And
ended up being Bucket Chef
We tested it, and Bucket Chef. People mostly just thought it was
Through the
Bucket Chef,
roof.
so it was all good.
through the roof. Everyone loved it.
Yeah. And so it's mostly marketing, mostly gimmicky.
Okay.
Okay.
Flash mobs, skywriters, that sort of thing.
All of that cheap shit.
Plus one.
All of the cheap
Plus,
shit, baby.
So skywriters, flash mobs, and Taylor Swift singing Bucket Chef. That's most of your 2 million set. 2 million spent.
Are you in or you out?
Look, I'm actually already an investor in PocketChef.com, so I feel like I'd have a conflict of interest. Obviously, going back 20 years now, so I'm going to remain loyal to my existing brand. I'm very sorry.
So good. So good.
That's
Thank
all right. You've got another idea out there.
Yeah, but I led with the best one, so.
Yeah, I think it was. I mean, the truth is, it was a good idea. It's just you're not first to it.
I have a lot of those, to be honest. I've thought of a lot of things. I'm pretty sure Carl Pilkington has literally said this before. That I have had inventions before that I later found out existed. And I'm not sure if we've just been like subconsciously picking shit up. But
Or you're just also a genius, but out of time.
or I'm a genius, just a bit too late.
Yeah. Alas. Alrighty. You ready for item number 2?
I'm ready.
How many times has this happened to you? Beep, beep, beep. Walk, 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 walk. Click. Oh, these dishes just aren't clean. My housemates put a bowl on top of a bowl and it's still covered in soup. Well, not anymore. Introducing the Ferris washer. Traditional dishwashers use an outdated tray and spinning arm system that only cleans where the water sprays. The Ferris washer combines everything you love about dishwashers with everything you love about country fairs. Simply insert your dirty dishes into one of the 8 moving baskets and marvel as the robotic arm rotates them through an omnidirectional water jet matrix that cleans from every angle. It is like a tumble dryer for your crockery. The Ferris washer works on all your usual kitchenware: bowls, plates, cutlery, glasses, mugs, serving trays, cake forks, champagne flutes, baking trays, slow cookers, murder weapons, chopsticks, and croque and bouche bases. Don't clean up with your old
Anything
1800s
else?
dishwasher technology. Clean up with 1600s Bulgarian fairground technology. It's the Ferris washer. The Ferris washer.
I honestly don't understand this. What? Break it down for me in
You know Ferris
layman's
wheels,
terms.
how there's like baskets on the outside of a wheel, right? And they move around and they always stay vertical,
Yeah.
right? So they're hanging and they're loose, okay?
Sorry. I wasn't clear. Can you explain to me the concept of a Ferris wheel?
Okay. So it's a large human scale structure where people sit in it and go around and they go up and then they go down. It's kind of a thrill. Now, miniaturize the Ferris technology and think like a front loading washing machine. But on the inside of it are all of these baskets which remain horizontal but rotate, right? So you have like 8 pods which rotate around in a circle. And then in the middle, in like the axle of a wheel, right? You have a water jet spray which fires water at all kinds of angles so that as the plates go around in a 360-degree loop, they get shot at from every angle. There's no blind spots. There's no parts that don't get covered because the plates are always moving.
Stupid.
Okay. Okay. No.
What?
Why?
Can you prove that you just... So how... Okay. I've got a couple of questions. Can you prove that... One, can you prove that your Ferris wheel dishwasher...
Ferris washer? Trademark.
Can you prove that it cleans better than just like a good dishwasher? Because I've got a shit dishwasher and it cleans pretty damn good.
But, well...
And is this going to cost lots of money? Because it sounds like it's going to cost. And thirdly, is it going to be see-through? Because the only...
It's definitely see-through.
Benefit, it needs to be see-through.
It's
That's
definitely
one thing.
see-through. I've always wanted a see-through
Ferris wheel?
dishwasher.
And can you put little, like, pets on? Can you put pets in there?
No, you can't put
and just
animals
for a dry wash?
No, you can't. It's not for humans.
What if you've got rodents? What if you've got rodents?
You could put a rodent in there, but not turn it on.
Yeah, a dry wash just for a ride. Because now we're talking.
Okay, you want
if I could put my pet rat
You want a rodent wheel.
I want to put my rodent in a miniature Ferris wheel inside a box that I can look at without drowning them. That's what I want.
Well, I'll ask the programmers to be able to turn off the water. The problem with that plan is you might go on, you haven't had your coffee yet in the morning. You put your cereal bowl in. You turn on the machine. You're like, great, this will be clean when I get home. Oops, last night Penny was showing her mouse the Ferris wheel. Didn't turn it back off the dry run. Now just my plates are going around in a circle all day. Not going to be clean when I come home. So we're going to need some pretty clear signage as to what mode it's on. But I think it really solves that problem of idiots. Because when you've got idiots using a regular dishwasher and they put plates on top of other plates and you get them out and you're like, ugh, why did you think this was going to work? You've put one thing on top of another thing. It's not going to... The water comes from underneath. You can't put a thing on top of a thing, you fucking idiot. You can't put things on top of things.
You can.
Well, here's the answer. You make all of the things move around in a circle with a Ferris washer.
Can you describe to me what the basket looks like?
You know how, a classic cutlery basket? You'd have one which is like a classic cutlery basket. You'd have one
kind of
which,
like rectangular.
Yeah,
right?
rectangular, like a hanging sort of handle off a thing.
Yeah.
But then the other ones, like you'll have one which is more just like the classic, the pointy spikes, so you could slip some plates on by themselves. And you have one which is a little bit like more of a shallow tray, so you can put all your mugs in it, And then you've just got like 6 different kind of baskets going around in a circle.
Yeah.
And they all just kind of motor their way around.
I'm having a tough time visualizing this as a decent product.
Well, I have commissioned Fisher Paykel to draw up the plans for me. Have you heard of Fisher Paykel?
Never heard of them.
Well, they're big in this space.
They're big in space?
They're not in the rat wheel space, in the washing space.
They sound like a company that does seafood and then forgot about something else. And they were like, fish pickle.
Half a joke.
Is that the worst joke I've ever made on this podcast?
I'm sure that it is not. So here's what I'm after.
Okay.
$50 million, you get no percentage or return.
Done.
I didn't even need to take my top off.
Well, you don't need $50 million.
I do need prototyping. I mean, we're literally going to need test rats. So it's going to be a complicated and years-long procedure. Plus, crockery is expensive. Have you ever tried to buy a plate? So much more than you think it is.
Never tried to buy a plate. Not once. Only been given plates.
I believe that.
Look, if you came in here with what did you say? Fish and pike, fishes and pikelets.
Have you really not heard of Fisher Paykel?
Did you make them up?
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Are they? What? I don't know what you're doing here.
Fisher Paykel is a real dishwasher company.
Yes, I've heard of them. Of course, I have. I've got one.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
You've got a Bosch.
I've got Bosch. Yeah, true. Right. I just tell people I've got a Fisher Paykel. For status.
Stupid. Yeah, you've always been a bragger.
I have a tough time visualizing the product, and for that reason, I wish you'd come in with some drawings, because for that, I cannot invest without seeing what it's going to look like, and without some test runs, because what they usually do in Dragon's Den is they come in with a sample prototype.
Yeah.
And you didn't do that. You also didn't strip before you came in here, and the last guy did, and now I'm just kind of used to it.
Okay. Well, no dice.
You know that you probably never had this feeling, but I had this feeling a lot when you'd go to class, like in school or at uni, and you'd have to like present something, and you completely underestimated how much work you needed to put in, and you're just sitting at the back of the class, and then the first kid goes up and just like knocks it out the park, and you're just like, fuck. It's a little bit how I'm feeling it right now. Okay, so
I've still only had one success, so.
But I could have just sabotaged you because I was feeling spiteful.
No, Michael, you wouldn't do that.
Okay, so my next.
This is your last idea. We're doing two each.
Yeah. My final product is.
Are you the same guy? I just need to mentally.
No, I'm a different guy.
Are you the guy that came back in a second time, or have you put on a wig?
I'm a different guy.
Okay.
Completely different guy.
Hi there. What's your name, sir?
My name is Benito.
Benito
del Toro.
Benito del Toro. Welcome to Dragon's Den.
Thanks for having me. I'm Spanish, by the way.
I took that from your name.
I was considering doing an accent, but then I thought you might tell me off, so I won't do it. I'm Spanish. My parents are Spanish.
You're
I grew
first
I grew up here.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's your backstory, Benito?
So
do you speak Spanish at home?
I have no idea. I can count to 5.
Wow. So they really went like full integration.
Full integration. I can count to 5. I can say, you fucking cocksucker.
Oh.
And I can say, I want a divorce. Because that's just
essential.
things I picked up when I was
a
young little, I don't even know what the Spanish word for is, for a child. Bambina?
Yeah, let's go with that. I think if you put an R on the end, that's a go.
So,
any siblings, Benito?
I have 2 brothers and sisters.
Okay, I regret it now.
You know, I lock in.
You found the character.
You know that's what happens. But you can't be racist to the Spanish, though. Can you?
You can be racist to anyone.
You can be racist to anyone, but it's fine to be racist.
Do you know why cracker is a slur for white people? I mean, it's not a slur, but do you know where the term comes from? Whip cracker. It was from African Americans referring to the white owners who would, crack the whip and force them to work.
No shit. I honestly would have guessed that there's like white people just liked crackers with cheese.
Yeah.
No, is that why?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I only just learnt it myself semi recently. I don't remember where I saw it.
All right. So my product, I'm going to pretend to do an Australian accent right now.
Oh, brilliant.
My product is a cologne.
Oh.
We've got the scent, we've got the name.
Okay.
We've got the face.
So you've got the scent as in you've made it.
We've made,
or you just
we've made
know
it.
what you want it to smell like.
Yes, we know what we want it to smell like.
Haven't made it.
We've done a few test runs. We're honing it.
Okay.
It's smelling good, by the way.
Who's we?
Good. My team.
How many people in your team?
11.
11 people?
11
Are
people.
they all Spanish Australian?
No, they're French.
They're a French team.
Fun fact, you cannot make a cologne
That's not in
that's
Cologne.
not in France.
Well, isn't Cologne in Germany?
Yes, but yes, they do. But that the term comes from Germany, yes. But the sorry, flu. Ugh.
Why are you sweating so much? Is this a side effect of your cologne?
Nervous.
Do you not believe in your
what was
product?
it? No, I believe in my product.
Stand up straight.
Sorry, Dad. Fuck. Missed the shit up. Oof, that was weird.
Start at the start.
All right. So, it's a cologne. I've got the name. I've got the face of the company, which is the biggest part of. Fun fact, Nick, Mr. Shadle, sorry. The number one important, the most important thing about a product that you smell, that exists to be smelt. Think about that. A perfume or cologne or eau de toilette, German, exists purely to be smelt. Smell is the human brain's deepest sense of memory. Deepest. I can still remember the perfume of the hottest teacher in school. I can still remember it.
But yeah, you've got an advantage when it comes to smelling than most people.
Which makes me the perfect guy to present this cologne to you. I should have led with that. Also hurt my feelings. Can you guys just smell everything? Well, if you can.
What's the smell?
So, the cologne is called Mumbo Number 5. Baby. I'm not going to lie, I started with the name. And if you're going to... I know what your first question is going to be.
Uh-huh.
Does it have snake oil in it? Yeah.
My first question is going to be,
with
do you have the
rattlesnakes.
rights?
Don't need them. That's the funny thing about it. Don't need it. Because it's a song.
Song versus product, different thing. Mm-hmm. How are you going to advertise it?
So, going to get Johnny Depp.
God.
Going to get Johnny Depp.
Sauvage himself.
Savage. Mr. Savage.
Are you going to advertise with the song?
We're not going to get Johnny Depp. We're getting Nicolas Cage because we are. I was joking before, but we are actually going to push the snake oil thing.
Has it got literal snake oil in it?
It's got actual. That's the pull.
Wow.
And the symbol is like a. It's like a thing. It's got Mumbo Number 5. It's black. The bottle is black, but it's got like. Also, it's indented, so you can't see it. You could see it if it was like held on an angle, but it's like a snake with like a dagger going through. But that's in black as well. It's not like standing out, but it's just like it's just raised on the bottle. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. And Nicolas Cage is the face of it.
So here's my my first question.
Okay.
Do you know that it's Mamba? Not Mumbo. Mamba is the snake. And Mumbo is the dance.
I didn't know there was a snake called a mamba. Oh yeah, black mamba.
Wait.
I didn't actually put that together.
Why are you talking about fucking snakes then?
I was just thinking it's just a cool thing. It's just cool to have snakes.
Okay, so you just wanted,
I mean,
so you just wanted, just so I understand the pitch. It's a cologne named after a song that you don't have the rights to.
yeah.
That is close to, but not the name of a snake. But you will
Apparently, yeah.
use that snake as the logo, which will be spruiked by Nicolas Cage.
Well, on your suggestion, willing, or depending on what your offer is, if it makes you more enticed to invest, willing to change which I think is actually better, to Mamba number 5 and have a black Mamba on the front, because that I was like 80% there already. So it makes way more sense.
If that's the case, then I'm going to need a 60-40 split, given that I've now contributed the significant portion of this development.
Dude, you can have 80. You can have 80 if you want.
Okay, how much are you looking for investment-wise?
Uh,
How's 50 million
look,
sound?
50 million sounds, you know what? 50 million
70.
sounds
I'll give you
great.
70.
40.
Okay, 40.
40.
Yeah, that's better for me. That's less money that I have to spend, obviously. So
Yeah.
that's cheaper then.
Don't need it. Don't need it. Superfluous. You know what? So I'll tell you where the money's going. The money. You know what? To create a cologne that smells as desperate as Mamba Number 5, you don't actually need that much money.
Well, for $40, I assume not.
No, 40. But what?
$40. We did a deal
So
for 40
mil.
bucks.
40 mil.
No, I
40
said 50
mil.
mil, and then I said 70 mil, and then you said 40. So I said, yep, and then so $40, obviously.
Well, I guess a deal's a deal.
A deal is
And
a
I did
deal.
say
We
that,
shook on it.
So, you know what? I could probably do it for $40.
I'm 80% invested. So your return on this is basically $8.
36.
You're gonna get $8 out of this.
It's more than I thought it was. And I was thinking this is where it could get dicey, but we want to be controversial. What do you think Nick Cage smells like, by the way? I think he smells boozy.
He's definitely
And-
going to have an undercurrent of like a whiskey,
Yeah.
but not like on his
100%.
breath, just like in his
Yeah.
clothes.
Like
Just
from
his
pores.
jacket.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I think he'll also have a sort of, there will be a hint of some sort of like greasiness, like just
Yeah.
a hint of whether it's just natural and he hasn't worn deodorant in a couple of days, or he like walked through a KFC before getting there, and there's just a whiff of like polyunsaturated fat.
So good. The only thing I would add to that is maybe like the smell of like hairspray. A little bit.
Yeah, just aerosols.
Just a little bit, like rich guys with.
I think this could be a segment all on its own. What does celebrity smell like?
Most of the money is obviously we've outsourced
Hairspray, yeah.
the whole thing to France, which, as you know,
To France or to Germany?
we've outsourced it. We have to outsource the work and the production to France, which labor there is so cheap.
Why aren't you
So-
doing it in your native ancestral home of Spain?
Because we're going to have to, because the biggest market in the world for colognes and perfumes and eau de toilettes is France and
France.
France. Sorry,
I think we've done a deal for our cologne line.
cool. See you in.
Yeah. Look, that's a successful thing. One sale each. That's pretty good. One opportunity to go take my Ferris washer to another willing bidder. We're going to put all 4 of those products up on Facebook. If you want to invest in them, or which the idea that you think is the strongest, jump on our Facebook page and give us the old rate.
Love it.
If you've enjoyed this kind of thing, or you have your own product ideas that you want to pitch to us, please get in touch. You can find us at facebook.com/deepfort, twitter.com/deepfort. Send your questions and comments to deepfort@gmail.com. And rate us on iTunes. Head to iTunes, give us the old star rating, tell people that you like us. It would be nice.
We're going to be on Spotify soon?
Yeah, actually, I will look into that. Yeah, I forgot about that.
I think it's good to I've listened to some just really great episodes of podcasts lately, and you know how you can like share songs I think Instagram story is a good way to do it, but it's fleeting, so it's just like, hey, I listened to this, and it's not like, it doesn't have that much like weight to it, so I think popping up good podcast episodes on Instagram story is a nice way to share really good episodes. What podcast do you listen to, by the way?
Currently, what am I listening to?
Do you listen to many?
Yeah, well, it comes and goes depending on what's in season. I listen to The Watch, which is a TV show podcast. There's a twice a week sort of summary of what people are watching and episode recaps and that kind of stuff. Yeah. I listen to Still Untitled, the Adam Savage project. That's Adam Savage from Mythbusters. He has a podcast, which is just a nice half hour talking about crafting and what he gets up to.
Yeah,
I dip in and out of my brother and me. I listen to Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend. I listen to The Adventure Zone for some D&D roleplay. If there's a movie that I've seen that I'm interested in knowing the opinions of, I'll jump in the Slash Filmcast because they
that's a good one.
They have a good sort of coverage of stuff. I keep an eye on like Dax Shepard, Armchair Expert, and Andy Richter, and if there's a guest that I'm interested in, I'll listen to that.
Yeah, what's Andy Richter's podcast like?
It's actually pretty decent. There's like quite a few I haven't listened to in terms of disinterest about the guests, but when there's someone that I do like he had Dax Shepard on, and so it was two people who basically do the same podcast talking about that to each other, which was quite interesting.
I really don't right off the bat, I don't like Dax Shepard, but his podcast is kind of making me like him, and he is actually very honest on that podcast,
and he's very eloquent as well.
You think so?
Yeah, I think he's more eloquent than I thought he was, and more. He basically.
Sorry, I've noticed that like he has a guest on, and he almost every time I've listened, he's gone on and said, I thought you hated me when we first met. And it's an interesting insight into like this Hollywood cliquey thing. And I really do actually like his podcast. I couldn't give a shit about him outside of that podcast, but I do like it a lot.
Yeah. I listen to the Good Place podcast. That's sort of
new season's out, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. So that's
final season.
Final season. I listened to Talk Show with John Gruber, and then the last one that I listened to is of significance is In the Dark, which is that crime podcast, which has had a fairly interesting second season because the case went to the Supreme Court and they followed it all the way to the Supreme Court, which is pretty amazing.
Cool. We listen to pretty different stuff.
Yeah. What's on your hit list?
I just pretty much just listen to... I only really like interviews. I don't like to be informed. So telling.
We'll leave all those jokes unsaid.
I listen to Freakonomics. I do like that. But it's just like... my favorite podcast is Adam Buxton's podcast. Do you know him?
I know the name, but I don't know who he is.
He went to school with Louis. He was on like Spicks and Specs and stuff. He's on Big Fat Quiz and all that stuff.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
went to school with Louis.
He went to. Oh, sorry. Did I not say the last name then?
No,
that was very important. He went to school with Louis Theroux, not Louis C.K.
Okay. Right. He
So
went to school
important.
with Louis Theroux,
Yeah.
and then
He's high school buddies with him. And then he's on Big Fat Quiz. You would have seen him around, I think. But
he's like sort of roundish with glasses.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really think why I love him so much is that I think that he is me in like a 50-year-old me. I'm pretty sure that's exactly what I'm going to be like when I'm 50 years old.
Well, I'll have to go and listen and then decide whether I want to keep hanging out.
I'll be dead by then.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about Joker? Can we?
Yeah. You see Joker?
Okay. This is what I think about Joker. You know, I've had a couple of profound. I felt like I've had profound moments watching a film in a cinema. One of them, when I saw There Will Be Blood, 2007. When I went and saw that, it changed things. It changed how I felt. I had such a visceral reaction to that movie. Didn't even know why. I couldn't understand it. Then I had to go back and watch that movie 6 times. I had the same kind of response to the Joker. I just thought it was phenomenal. I
Wow.
thought the acting was great. I loved what it was trying to say. Just loved everything about it. Did you like it?
I really did like it. I agree that the performance from Joaquin Phoenix is very, very impressive. It reminded me. This is a film I haven't seen, but it reminded me via cultural osmosis of The Machinist and Christian Bale's kind of insular,
Transformation.
awkward,
Yeah.
skinny psychosis. Actually, maybe I have seen The Machinist.
You would have seen it.
Maybe I
That's
have.
Nolan, right?
No? Yes? No?
The Machinist? I'm pretty sure
It's Machinist.
The Machinist. I know. But if you're
I
pretentious,
can't
it's
remember.
fine.
Maybe it is. I don't know why I'm blanking on who directed that. I didn't think it was. Didn't he go like... Oh, I don't know. Anyhow, that Christian Bale performance and that Joaquin Phoenix performance felt reminiscent for me because he does such unsettling things with his body. I just like he's sitting around shirtless for a lot of the time at home, and every time the camera moves in on him, it looks wrong. Like his body's contorted weirdly, or his like shoulder blades like stuck behind him in a strange way. And it's like such an interesting
It's
choice.
like Golem in a way.
It is.
isn't
It really, and it's such. It all it does is unsettle you. It's like it's like a horror movie when you see like the possessed woman crawl along the floor or something, and every time it shows this guy exposed, it deliberately frames him, and he's deliberately contorting himself in a way that feels other. And I thought he was really compelling in the role. I had some plot niggles. I suppose.
Well, what are they?
Well, I was just about to say. I suppose we should delineate a spoiler section if people haven't listened to, haven't seen the movie yet. So maybe we'll just hold off some of those things and just talk more generally for a little bit, and then we'll call a spoiler window. But yeah, so I had a couple of plot niggles, but I was really almost from the opening frame. I was just in it. I was just captivated by this main character.
As soon as he did this,
Yeah,
this is not real. And then he's like,
yeah.
that was
pulling
was
his
the
lips
first
up
scene?
into a smile.
I'm like,
yeah.
just the way he did that, you're just like, oh fuck, we're all right, we're deep diving now. 'Cause
Yeah. It really is a truly compelling sort of performance, and it's so amazing.
very emotional movie.
You think so?
In many ways.
Yeah. Tell me more about that.
Well, look,
What kind of emotion?
I related to him, man.
Interesting.
somewhat reluctant to say that, but I did. There were certain moments in that really made me sympathize with him, and not.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I think he is very sympathetic in many ways.
And look, there's a. I need to like reveal things about.
Okay.
The plot.
Well, let's just say that both of us really like this film, and we are about to talk about spoilers about it openly. So if you haven't seen it, thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.
Fuck off.
Okay.
No. Sorry, I don't know what you said.
Spoiler zone. We're talking spoilers.
It's not even that much of a spoiler, but there was a scene where when he starts to go to the comedy clubs,
Yeah,
and he wants to go. He wants
to be a stand-up.
It's really he wants to do stand up, but he's going there with his notepad.
Yeah,
and he's so enthusiastic. He's laughing at all the wrong things.
Yeah,
he's not laughing when everyone else is laughing.
Yeah,
and he doesn't get it, and he doesn't get that everyone's laughing at him. And then when he gets that everyone's laughing at him, he can't take it.
Yeah,
and that's an extrapolation of a feeling that I've got. Like I don't have it to that degree, but like maybe on some like childhood level that maybe that this fear that I'm sure everyone's got to a degree of being laughed at or not being
no one
in
wants
on
to
the
be
joke.
Yeah, the butt of the joke
is
or not
so
getting it.
Terrifying and makes me feel hurt for him.
Yeah,
so much that I mean I love that the movie. That's why I love movies so much. I love it when I feel that. I love it when I feel like this it feels like such a true emotion that the movie made me feel.
Yeah.
And I felt so profoundly sorry for him, and it also was such a timely movie in terms of the rise of incels and but not necessarily like you said on your movie club post. It's not necessarily it's never condoning any of that. It's never condoning it. It's just showing how how someone like that can be created by society in a way.
Yeah, but it didn't bother you that the society that it's depicting is very explicitly not our society. Like it is a different world that we're in when we go into that world, and it doesn't mean that it's not trying to be human or relatable or connected to ours, but it is also it's heightened.
The 70s, yeah.
Yeah. Well, we don't even explicitly know what.
Look, I didn't even. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think it was set in the set.
It certainly feels it, but yeah, they never say it's 1976 in Gotham City.
Yeah. I thought De Niro was miscast. That was my gripe with it.
Yeah, I think he is, but I think that's also so. Part of my niggles about it were, I never, unless you're doing something different, you don't need to show us killing Batman's parents in every single fucking Batman movie. So
did they kill Batman's parents in that movie?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So you know how Thomas Wayne, he has this whole fascination with Thomas Wayne, right? That's Batman's dad, Bruce Wayne's dad.
Okay.
So he goes out to the mansion and he tries to speak to the guy because his mum, who it turns out is also psychotic, had this fixation on him and thought that they were together and that he was Arthur's father.
I honestly didn't put the Wayne thing together.
Yeah. So that's Batman's dad.
Okay.
And then at the end of that film, when the riots and stuff break out, Thomas Wayne and his wife and Bruce run out of the theater, and then this guy in a Joker mask follows them down and then shoots Thomas Wayne and rips the pearls off the wife and shoots her, and then the kid's left standing. That's the Batman origin story. Right. And that has been at the start of the Christopher Nolan trilogy and the Zack Snyder trilogy, and just about every Batman property always does that that scene of the pearls shattering and the parents falling over in the alleyway.
So that's the staple of the story.
That's default Batman origin story. And
okay.
my argument is, much like seeing Peter Parker be bit by a spider, we know it all so much. This was not a movie that needed to be about Batman at all. Yeah. It was interesting enough on its own terms that I didn't feel like I needed to see that sort of origin for the hero that would come. It could have just been left there ambiguous. Right. So that sort of tie-in didn't work. The most interesting part of it, again, and this is something that you probably won't have latched onto, but when they're talking about the fact that that his mum thinks that Thomas Wayne was Arthur's dad, that's a really kind of interesting thing to do to Batman canon, which is to make the Joker like half-brother to Batman. But that
would be a trope in itself, wouldn't it? Because
it would
the
be
evil twin then, like
it would be, but at the same time, it's a different. It's a change up from the normal. It could have been interesting if they committed to that, but because the reality is that his mum was delusional, they pull away from it. So at that point, it kind of makes me wonder why you needed to have that entire element in the film.
Well, you're thinking that that's the studio push and pull. The studio is probably thinking, please, can we link this up?
Can we get
somehow,
Batman
guys?
in here somewhere, please, guys?
Please.
And
so, I know you guys are saying right now no sequels. Joaquin, you're shaking your head. I know you're saying no sequels, but can we leave the door?
We just talk about it.
Maybe let's talk about something.
Yeah.
I hope so.
The other thing, I don't know where you go with it. The other thing, so I was a little bit kind of. How did you feel about the layering of the sort of tragedies that go through his life? Because he's obviously sort of mentally disturbed. He's obviously like quite mistreated at work, living with his mother, beaten up in the alley, harassed on the train, like all of these kind of problems and stuff. And then he starts to discover his backstory is a lie, like what he thought was true about his mum and his parents were a lie. And then they drop in the old faithful, like, dad was abusive to me and he beat me up as a child, and then she locked him up or something and forgot about him because she was crazy, and so he went like the child abuse of it all. And I just want,
are you arguing that's too much?
When it got to the yes, he was abused as a child, I just kind of thought I already believe that he's damaged enough. Like I didn't need the child abuse backstory.
Yeah, that might be a fair point.
And then
it's not something that came up that I thought of, but I think
that's so those are sort of two minor things. My biggest gripe with it was, as you say, De Niro. I just didn't find that his final speech worked for me. When he gets on the talk show and he sits down and he sort of has a bit of a ramble, I thought the moment that he went like anywhere vaguely off script, I just didn't buy that he'd just keep talking and that De Niro's character would just sit there, or the audience would just sit there, or the producers would just sit there. I just... that it felt like too much of a contrivance for him to get all the way through it.
Yeah.
And yes, I think strange to go to
Strange casting choice from a guy who is so bad on late night talk shows as a guest. He's the worst. It gives nothing. Like I'm not convinced. He doesn't have the energy.
You're talking De Niro
at all, man. Yeah, De Niro.
Yeah, I agree.
It doesn't have the energy at all to be a late night host.
I think they were kind of looking for, they had to look for an old white guy, right?
They're looking for clout, or like someone who looks like they've got clout. And yeah, it was fine. But
it would have been really fucking interesting if they'd been able to get like Letterman or something like that. If you got Letterman in that role, playing a different character, not as him, not as himself, but like someone who you just buy in that role, who has that.
I think Letterman would have taken you out of it and into reality too
You're
much.
probably
I
true.
think
But
you,
I mean,
you-
you
I
can't
think-
you can't look at him at De Niro and be like, oh yeah, that's anyone but De Niro. You're still thinking the
that's
same
true.
thing.
That's true. That's true.
The other
Yeah.
way that you could go, which again, then this kind of undercuts the if you're looking for someone who feels like they've got clout and presence, you could have cast, like a character actor who you don't instantly know, but who can just embody that role a bit more.
Michael Douglas.
Yeah, I don't know.
They're looking
maybe
for.
even
They
like
want
a
De
lesser
Niro. They want the
name.
name. They want the name. I mean, I'm not sure if
Yeah.
they necessarily use the De Niro name on the poster from memory either. But I guess
Yeah.
if you got De Niro, yeah. You're not gonna be like, De Niro's not right for this.
Yeah. But yeah, so that last scene where he finally gets his chance to say his piece and take out, like 5 minutes of this show on just a random kind of rant, when he then confesses to a murder and no one immediately goes, cut, all right, we're wrapping up, everybody, call the police, thank you very much, let's get him off stage and see you later. And the other thing which was silly as well, for me, is once he kills De Niro, the other two guests on the couch next to him just still sit there. The host has literally been murdered, like 1 meter to their left, and they just sort of sit there on the couch a bit like, oh, am I still on camera? Am I allowed? Can I get up? I didn't buy into the reality of that scene, which is a shame because so much of the rest of the film was really engrossing, and that just took me out of it a bit.
I saw an interview with Joaquin Phoenix on Jimmy Fallon the other day, and I looked at the YouTube comments, and one of the comments there that made me laugh was like, Joaquin Phoenix goes on a talk show, people who've seen Joker, and then just like the shocked emoji.
Yeah.
What do you? How many bags of popcorn are you giving this?
I'm giving it.
Out of 7.
I'm giving it 2.5 popcorns out of 3.
I like it. Throwing the framework right out the window. I like it.
What are you giving me?
2.5. The disparity between the critic score and audience score is pretty interesting on Rotten Tomatoes. Have you checked that
I
out?
don't see that. What's the audience score? They don't like it.
Audience score
Really
love
likes it.
Critics don't. Well, critics, it's certified fresh, but at 69%, and audience is like 92%.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let
I would give it 4.5 stars.
Yeah.
I thought it was phenomenal.
The what was your reaction to the Zazie Beetz reveal? The girlfriend reveal.
Zazie Beetz.
The girlfriend, the woman that he thinks is with him and then isn't. He's been projecting that they're in a relationship. The apartment woman, the woman with the kid.
I know who you're talking about.
Okay,
but
well,
I
you didn't for ages.
I'm not sure I necessarily did. He'd been projecting that, but did he kiss her? I remember a scene where he's kissing her.
Yeah, that
in the
was
apartment.
imaginary.
That was imaginary.
Yeah, you know how they do the revelation where he like
I
is
went
in her
I went to go get drinks at one point, and I was gone for about 10 minutes, and I was like, "This is I picked it, and I thought this is the perfect time."
Okay,
to
you
go
got
get
that
drinks.
very wrong.
And I missed out on I missed out on 10 minutes, and because I did think at the time, what the fuck was this scene?
Yeah.
When he just goes into the apartment and starts kissing him, I was like, I'm not buying this at all.
Okay, well, you need to go back and rewatch it. It sounds like you might already.
Yeah, well, I'm going to. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, maybe I won't say any more then. Well, no. Fuck it. Yeah.
I don't give a shit about spoilers.
Yeah. No. He. All that stuff, which is very disjointed, and you're like, wait, why are they making out? Why is she going to this comedy club? Why is she at the hospital bed? All that stuff.
Really?
Completely imaginary.
No shit. That makes way more sense.
Yeah,
Makes me
so
like the movie even more. I'm bumping it up to 4.6 bags of popcorn.
Yeah, so he goes into it. He goes into her apartment, sits there in the dark on the couch, and she comes out and she's like, "What the fuck? What are you in my what the fuck?"
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and that's you remember that?
And I remember that. And then I remember thinking, well, you just fucking kissed the guy.
Yeah.
Like, don't go that.
But you
don't go
didn't
cold
see.
turkey on the motherfucker.
Did you walk out at that exact moment?
Was that before or after?
Was what before or after?
I was there for the moment where he kissed her in the apartment, and I was there for the moment where he was in the couch and she was like, what the fuck are you doing in my house, Joaquin Phoenix? I mean, the Joker.
Yeah. Well, then in that scene where you're like, "What the fuck are you doing here?" They then show a montage of all the moments where they'd shown us, him and her together previously, and then they juxtapose it with one where she's not there to show that it was all his projection. So you must have seen that.
Maybe I just got too drunk. I was drinking heavily in the movie.
Yeah, I can tell. Well, go see it again. Let me know what you think a second time.
Will. Okay. Well, I'll. What time is it there?
Close to 11. Yeah.
Very close to bedtime. I had a nice time. What are we? Are you just like on a Tinder date? Had a nice time. I'll call you sometime.
Maybe do something next weekend. I don't know.
I don't know.
Would you want to do this again?